your wives have a Torah of their own? If you don't know that, that is your problem right there. End of story. You can skip the other 2 parts of the series. You need to understand that we have Torahs built into our own home. Mine is, I have to take the trash out on Thursday morning. If I don't keep that Torah, I will know it Thursday afternoon. We all have different instructions and different parts and different responsibilities that we have to keep. If one person in my personal house, a family of 8, does not keep their particular part of the Torah, the whole household becomes crippled. One of the responsibilities of one of my daughters is to do the dishes. If she doesn't do the dishes, that is a huge, huge problem in our house. With 8 people, that's a big problem. If someone doesn't take out the trash, it's a big problem. Do you understand why Paul says that every single member of the body is critical? Because every one of you are like individual teeth on a gear. If you take one, you say, oh, there's 56 teeth in a gear. Take out one, you don't need it. Just take out one. And you know what? You won't even feel it for a while. Then what happens? The teeth on either side of the missing tooth will start to take up the responsibility of the missing one and become wear down faster. It'll become wore down faster. Pretty soon what happens to those teeth? They break. So now we're missing 3 teeth. And now you have a wheel that's turning and it's skipping. And it's every part of the teeth. You see, if every tooth is there, there's hardly any pressure at all on the teeth. But you start taking out members of the body and their talents and their giftings from the body, and you start relying on one individual or a few individuals, they take the brunt of the load, and guess what happens? They get wore out and they break. Sometimes they sin because they just can't take all the weight and the pressure that's on them. This is why he says, do not neglect the meeting together and being a part of the body, mishpachah. Do not be an independent Hebrew contractor. If at all possible within your grasp, do whatever it takes to be a part of a body and be accountable and inside using your gifts the way the Father has called you to use it. Why? Because you might not even realize that what your part to play, and maybe it's just that you said hello to someone and it saved their life because that afternoon they were going to walk out the doors of their high school and commit suicide. And they had a gun and a bullet ready in their car. And the quarterback of the high school team opened the door for her on her way out of class. It impacted her so greatly, he didn't even know what he did. She took the bullet, wrapped it in a napkin, found his class, and put it on his desk. And he opened it up and it read, "You saved my life." You don't know the impact. That's a true story, by the way. You don't know the impact that you have inside the body. Be a part of the body. Use your gifts. If anything, love on someone because you don't know where they're at. You don't know what they're going through. So they're mean and cranky. Get over it. You were mean and cranky probably 2 weeks ago. And everyone else had to put up with it. We all have those days, do we not? Why is it that we are so mean to one another sometimes? We don't know what people are going through. The breakdown of the family is always directly related to the removing or the denying or the breaking of some instruction. So if we keep instruction high and we understand that all instruction is related to the love of Yahweh and the love of His bride, then everything works. In very, very short, you can turn this whole series off if you understand this next comment and this next statement that I'm going to make. If you want to have an unbelievable relationship with your spouse, what you need to do is simply die for your bride. And you'll live. Don't die for your bride, and you'll be the most miserable person in the world because you'll be living under a curse. Before Yeshua came, the bride and husband, the curse is there. Yeshua decided, okay, we got a problem. Our relationship's messed up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect us back together. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to prove to her that she's wrong. That is the number one way, is to prove your wife wrong and everything will be just fine, right? How much does that work? Why is it that is the first thing that we do? If I'm going to prove the other, all I got to do, if I prove that other person wrong, then they'll come to my side and everybody will be happy. If they just knew that I was right to begin with, we wouldn't have this issue. No, Yeshua knew that the bride was wrong. She's the one that sinned. Bride not being feminine, but us in general. So what he decided to do is he doesn't want to go in logic, so he broke the chain and the cycle of death and curse by simply humbling himself even to the death on a cross. And when he absorbed her sin, new life came. And she was awakened to see what he's been trying to say all along. And that works both ways. You want your husband to see things because we are blockheads and we're blind? Die.